everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have one incredible story with comments and an update. If you are new to this channel, a sub would be great. Tap that notification bell. Let's jump right in. Am I the a-hole for going no contact with my daughter once I found out that she knew about my wife's affair and sided with her? I found out that my wife of 20 plus years was having an affair. I was completely devastated over this and started divorce proceedings immediately. Obviously, this has been hard on our 4 children, but I can't spend the rest of my life with someone that betrayed my trust and sanctity of our marriage. Before we got married, my wife's family was worth a considerable amount of money and demanded I sign a prenup. I had no problem signing it, but over the years, her family's net worth has declined significantly due to bad investments and lawsuits. Because of the prenup, she is not entitled to any alimony. In short, my wife will be screwed if we divorce. The only thing we own together is our house, and my wife won't be able to afford the cost of its upkeep, so she will have to move. I have no intention of giving her any type of additional financial support. Since serving my wife divorce papers, my attorney told me to avoid any contact with her. But that's hard to do, because recently, she's playing dirty by getting the children involved. We have 2 boys, 25 and 23, and 2 girls, 21 and 19. And my wife has been begging them to try to get me to stop the divorce proceedings. After I told my children that I had no interest wasting any more of my life with their mother, they all essentially backed off, except for my oldest, Christy. She's very close to her mother and can't imagine life without her mom and dad being married forever. Christy told me that her mother realizes that she made a mistake and will do whatever it takes to make things right. She says that I owe it to the family to work things out. I was very direct with her and told her that it wasn't her place to make those kinds of demands. Since then, the only time Christy talks to me is when she's sobbing and asking me not to destroy the family. I understand this is hard for her and offered to pay for therapy so she can begin to work through these issues, but she wasn't having any of that. Instead, she flipped the script and blamed me. If I wasn't trying to get a divorce, she wouldn't have to seek counseling. She must have learned that manipulative move from her mom. Since Christy is refusing counseling and too emotionally involved in my divorce, I had to limit contact with her until after the divorce. So, let me know this. Divorcing my wife is one thing, but am I the a-hole for not wanting to deal with my daughter's drama and choosing low contact? Edit to add. I just wanted to clarify some things. 1. When my wife reached 30, she started getting a monthly allowance from the family estate. The prenup said that I was not entitled to any of that money. In exchange for that arrangement, if we ever got a divorce, she couldn't sue me for alimony. 2. Also, to the comments asking why my wife cheated, that's a little offensive. I don't know how that changes anything or that I should care. However, the guy that she cheated on me with was younger. Looked like he couldn't be any older than 30. So take that information and do what you will. Let's head to the comments. Coffee and Insomniac says, not the a-hole. I'm surprised your daughter is taking this so hard. And yeah, your daughter is being a bit dramatic. However, pulling away from her when she's clearly hurting isn't exactly how I'd handle it. She is an adult and should understand that there are just some situations in which a relationship cannot be mended. Cheating being number 1. You may have been hurt by the one person you were supposed to trust 100%, and you need to take some time to yourself to heal. My parents separated when I was 1 and divorced when I was 4, so I can't really put myself in the shoes of someone who have had their parents their entire life, only to see them split after many years together. Hopefully, Christy sees that interfering is only going to make things worse. The sooner she realizes this, the sooner the 2 of you can mend your relationship sometime later down the road. Mysterious Winter 606 says, not the a-hole. Your wife is the one who drove a stake through the marriage and the family. I look at it this way. You had 20 plus years of married life and 4 wonderful children. Life is never a straight line, and your wife made decisions that have consequences. She should have known that when she got tangled up in this affair, one consequence might be divorce. Now we see crocodile tears because she realizes that no money is coming to her. Bet she's regretting the prenup, lol. Mermaid Glitter says, not the a-hole. Newsflash, this need for reconciliation is all about money. Her trust fund has dried up and you are her meal ticket. After the divorce, no more shopping sprees and lady lunches. Your wife is facing the harsh reality of living on a budget. Ha! As for your children, all of them are adults and should act like it. I get it. Your daughter is devastated, but she sounds like she might have been babied by your wife. She has been sheltered, and this is shattering her worldview of unicorns and rainbows. Not getting the vibe that you took into consideration the children that much, because I think you owed each of them a sit-down to explain your decision to divorce. It's natural that every child is going to have a different reaction. However, you can't stay married just to please your adult children. I can see why you want some distance right now. Your daughter has to accept that the divorce is going to happen, and there's nothing she can do to stop it. She is blaming the wrong person here, because the right person to blame, your wife, is controlling the narrative via manipulation. Update. I decided to follow some of your comments and advice and scheduled a sit down with my daughter to explain that what goes on between her mother and I is not her fault. I tried to make her understand that I simply can't go back to someone who deceived me in such a big way. I told her that I always strive to be forgiving and empathetic, but I can't tolerate anyone who lies with malicious and selfish intent. For many years, I had low self-esteem, and I've worked hard on improving myself. I can't take a step backward. I was very calm when I spoke to my daughter and tried to be as loving as I could, but it didn't work. Christy ended up breaking down and desperately tried to convince me not to divorce and just forgive her mom. In her words, "It would be so easy. What's the big deal?" Christy refused to listen, and I had to go no contact with her to give everyone time to calm down. Fast forward to my other daughter's birthday, Jane. We gathered as a family, like we always have, and things were a little tense and awkward, but I wanted to put up a positive front. The party was winding down when my wife decided to be passive-aggressive and made a dramatic speech about unification of family and loyalty. Everyone saw through her crap, and my son, Jack, called her out on it and said that she was being selfish to bring all this up at Jane's birthday. Christy blew up and came to her mother's defense. I guess Jane couldn't take the hypocrisy anymore. Jane stood up in front of everyone and said that the only reason Christy was on their mother's side of this divorce split was because Christy not only knew about the affair, but helped her mother cover it up. All HE double-L broke loose, and I looked at Christy with such disgust. Not only did my wife betray me, but my own daughter too? I knew she was closer to her mother than me, but this was just over-the-top disloyalty. I am now resolved to go full no contact with her until after the divorce and possibly for the rest of my life. The bond I had with her is forever damaged, and the heartbreak I am feeling due to this betrayal is doubled because it now involves my daughter and my wife. Our last two comments are from Fire or Water and Gemini Girl. Fire or Water says, "Wow. That was an update that I was not expecting. You're not the a-hole in any way, shape, or form. I feel sorry for your daughter. Too dumb to see how she's being used. You're correct in lowering your contact with her. She seriously needs help. It's abusive to suggest that you stay in that relationship. I agree that your wife's attempt to patch things up has more to do with money than it does with your happiness. Gee, sorry not sorry about that prenup. Karma's a biatch." Gemini Girl says, "Not the a-hole. Your wife ruined your family. By cheating, whatever the reason. Not you. I read your update, and your wife doubled down and snared your daughter in her deceit. This is indefensible. The manipulation is epic. At this point in your children's lives, they should know that life isn't just rainbows and butterflies. I would try and remain positive and say that Christy was desperate to keep the family intact and covered up your wife's betrayal out of blind loyalty. Everyone needs to take a breather and step back. Give Christy some time to realize her mistakes. She is still young at 21 and immature. I don't think you're the butthole for wanting to distance yourself. I say, give yourself and your children time. Just hang in there. Hey Code Karen community, what would you do in this situation? I'd love to hear your comments. See you in the next story.